Okay, Quincy, how much tail debris do we have?
Freedom, turn on your FOD radar.
FOD radar up.
Apollo 13 flight controllers.
Flight.
Econ.
Where goes flight?
GNC.
150 meters.
Show us the hydraulic chamber! I'm gonna make it!
Distance to impact 50 meters.
The Bible calls this day Armageddon, the end of all things.
The moon, a satellite that has existed for millions of years alongside Earth. But one day, for some reason, the moon could suddenly explode or simply vanish completely. What would happen? Would the tides disappear entirely? Would there still be 24 hours in a day? Or how extreme could climate change become? In this video, we will explore the possibilities that could occur if suddenly the moon were to vanish completely. So what could destroy the moon? It could be one of humanity's greatest mistakes, a new bomb test. And this bomb could have such immense power that even the government that created it wouldn't dare test it anywhere on Earth. The Tsar Bomba is the most powerful nuclear weapon ever tested, with a yield equivalent to 50 million tons of TNT, 3,300 times the power of the atomic bomb. Little boy dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. But with human ambition, the Tsar Bomba might not be enough. They want to test a weapon with an explosive power hundreds of times greater, and thus the moon could be blown apart by humans themselves. But this is the least convincing hypothesis. According to estimates, to destroy the moon in a single blast, we would need 1 trillion Tsar Bombas. This exceeds human manufacturing capabilities and will never happen. So let's leave that to someone with powers far beyond our imagination, like the madman Thanos.
You should have gone for the head.
Or perhaps a supernatural event in the universe that makes the moon disappear. So what would happen next if the moon's light no longer shone in the night sky? The first change would be psychological, with an existence of millions of years, dating back to before humans even appeared on Earth. The moon would now be completely gone. This would be a fear shared by people around the world about the possible consequences, especially for people in Asia. Because in Asian culture, the moon is just as important as the sun. Every year, festivals to honor the moon are held in some countries like China, Indonesia, Vietnam, etc. Many still use the lunar calendar to organize events throughout the year. Therefore, governments of all countries would have to make great efforts to prevent psychological tensions from escalating. The change in nature. The tides would significantly decrease. Although the sun also causes tides, its gravitational force only contributes about 46% compared to the moon, leading to much smaller tidal ranges. Mangrove areas and river mouths would be severely affected. Many species that rely on the tidal cycle for reproduction, feeding, and migration would face difficulties. In the oceans, many species depend on nutrients carried from land through tides, especially in coastal areas, river mouths, and mangrove regions. Tides act like a machine to transport organic matter, minerals like nitrates, phosphates, and sediments from land to the sea, while also bringing oxygen and nutrients from the ocean into nearshore waters. Small species that feed on plankton such as clams, oysters, shrimp, etc. would decrease. Consequently, the species that feed on them would also gradually decline due to a lack of food. Conversely, tides also act as carriers of nutrients from the sea to land by generating flow. Over thousands of years, the flow of water has brought sediment and nutrients to enrich the large floodplains we know today. Millions of tons of sediment and nutrients are accumulated, enriching soil fertility, aiding agricultural development, and supporting ecosystems. These areas provide hundreds of millions of tons of food every year for humanity. Without strong tides, the soil would gradually erode, and it would no longer have enough nutrients to sustain the growth of crops and coastal marine species. The global food crisis would reach alarming levels, and millions, even billions of people would lack basic food. Essential products like rice, corn, potatoes, fish, etc., would become major issues for nations worldwide. This would be the first and most significant impact to occur immediately after the moon's sudden disappearance. The next changes, though very large, may take millions of years to happen. A day will no longer be 24 hours. Millions of years ago, a day on Earth was only 21 hours long. The moon, with its tidal forces, has slowed the Earth's rotation by approximately 1.7 milliseconds per century. So when the moon disappears, after millions of years, we'll have less time to work, sleep, and relax as we do now. Everything will have to be done quickly. Work faster, date faster, eat faster, and films will be shorter. This sounds terrible because I believe most people would want a longer day, and some might even wish for a 48-hour day. Summer will become hotter, winter will be colder, and the wind will be incredibly strong. The moon helps to stabilize the Earth's tilt at an angle of 23.5 degrees with respect to its orbital plane around the sun. This creates the 4 seasons in a year. If the moon were to disappear, the Earth's axial tilt could change suddenly and unevenly over time. Simulation studies show that Earth's tilt could change by anywhere between 10 and 45 degrees over a period of millions of years. This change in axial tilt would not occur immediately, but over 10,000 to 100,000 years, Earth's axis could change significantly. This shift could lead to significant changes in Earth's climate. Changes in axial tilt could make the seasons uneven, causing regions on Earth to experience extremely harsh temperature and weather conditions. Summers could become incredibly hot, and winters could be much longer and colder than now. This would indirectly affect major wind systems such as the westerlies, the easterlies, and the trade winds. These changes could lead to extreme weather phenomena like storms, strong winds, and even stronger tornadoes. Humans will face increasingly devastating storms. Storms like Yagi, Henlane, and Milton, which appeared in 2024, will have consequences we will never forget. However, these may seem small compared to the storms that will emerge after the climate changes caused by the moon's disappearance. This extreme change could lead to rising sea levels due to melting ice, permanently submerging some coastal areas. Humans will need to adapt to living on the sea for their entire lives. Sea-based homes, underwater research areas, or super ships designed for human habitation will no longer just appear in movies, but will become practical projects pursued by countries whose land masses are disappearing. New types of crops that don't require soil to grow could be developed in these areas. Naturally, the entire multi-billion-dollar tourism and resort industry at the beach would disappear entirely. Species that cannot adapt to climate change will gradually go extinct, while other species will evolve and create new breeds or entirely new species on Earth. It turns out that the moon is not just a source of light for dark roads at night or a natural lighthouse for sailors adrift at sea. It also plays an incredibly important role in maintaining the stability of Earth. This is our theory about the moon disappearing. See you in the next video.